Police have raided the last known hideout of escaped rapist and murderer Thabo Bester. He's on the run after escaping from the correctional centre in Bloemfontein last year. Police descended on the Hyde Park, Johannesburg property this afternoon. eNCA's Silindelo Masikane was there.
We are at the last place in which we know that Thabo Bester as well as Dr. Nandipha Magudumana resided in. This particular house, or should I say mansion, 12 million rand mansion, is based here in Hyde Park. And what we do know is that it does seem as though new information has been obtained by the police that warranted that they obtain a search warrant for this property. We don't know exactly what that new information is, but of course we do know in terms of the information received from the property developer that some chaos essentially transpired after the news broke that Thabo Bester was alive. We know that Dr. Nandipha as well as Thabo Bester fled this particular property in a hurry, leaving much of their furniture and their belongings inside. We understand that a couple of days later, bouncers or private security officials then came to the home and essentially also just cleaned it out in terms of the possessions that belonged to Bester as well as Dr. Nandipha. Now at this moment in time, you can't really see anything. It does seem as though police officials and forensics have actually gone inside. Much earlier on, what we were seeing, Sally, is police officials and forensics officials getting into those hazmat suits before they went into the property. We know that the property developers are also inside the property. We know that police arrived here at around 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and we do know in terms of the information that we have, we know that in 2020 Nandipha started looking for property with the property developer, saying that her and her husband want to move, and so the property developer showed them this particular property, and we understand that at the time Bester was using the alias TK Nkwana. We know that Nandipha paid for this rental up front, and we understand that when she moved in, the rental for the property was around 60,000 rand a month. And in fact, when they moved in, they then completely renovated this particular property. And of course, we know that Bester escaped essentially in May of 2022, but by then Nandipha had already been living in this particular property. And we know from speaking to the owners of the property as well, is that they did begin defaulting on the rent, which of course then sparked some issues with regards to them residing here. Next door, that particular property as well, I'm not sure if you'll be able to see it from here. We'll try and move a little bit closer and maybe show the visuals from inside one of the smaller gates, is that that property as well was actually being leased out by Dr. Nandipha and Bester, and they were in the process of renovating that property on the other side as well into a new business premises. So at this point, forensics are still on the scene. Actually, I see one of those officials coming out now, and at this point, we're yet to find out exactly what they're searching for, but of course we know that a manhunt is underway for Bester, and at this point, sources are telling us that he actually might be out of the country.